All right, boys and girls, so today what we're going to do is we're going to draw this adorable rooster. We're going to later on add texture to it and paint it, but today we're going to work on actually drawing it. So I'm going to draw in black pen today, only so you can see. You're going to draw in pencil. Then we're only going to add Sharpie to a couple of the areas. And the rest of all the pencil marks we're actually going to cover with black oil pastel. But today, we don't want to smudge it. So first grade's been working a lot with that. So we're going to kind of talk about that when we get to it. So in order to first start with our rooster, obviously he's standing on a cute little fence post. And I don't know if you can see that. And then he's howling at the moon, or, not howling at the moon. You know what I mean. Crowing at the moon. And we're going to actually add stars. I'll show you what the nighttime scene is going to look like. But that's actually when they make the noises in the morning when it's still dark outside. So we're going to make it dark too. So in order to do our rooster where we need to do it, we're going to have this semicircle. And if you notice, there's a dot here, there's two lines, and there's an X. So if you're looking at the side that doesn't have that, you need to flip it over so that it does have that. What you're going to do is that dot is going to actually go in the very middle of your paper. So you want to point to the middle. That's where the dot's going to go. And then I don't want mine to be standing straight up. So I kind of turn it just a little bit. But those two lines there, I'm actually not going to draw a line where that X is. So I'm going to follow the straight line with my pencil. I'm doing pen, you're doing pencil. And then when I get all the way to the line, I'm going to stop so there's not a line in this area. And then I'm done with this tracer. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to do the head. But if you notice in the example, I don't want the head to go all the way to the top of the paper because he's got this cool little stuff on top of him. So what I want to do here is I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to make it a little bit round. And then I'm going to bring it to the other side and I'm going to enclose that. Then at the front, I want him actually to be looking up at the sky. So I'm going to, in fact, I have one example where his mouth is closed just with a triangle. And then I have another example where his mouth is open. So I'm actually going to do it open and I want him kind of looking up towards the corner. So you can actually do either one, just one triangle or two. And then I'm going to do his eye, which is a circle and a circle. And then I'm going to do a smaller circle inside. And then right underneath his beak, I'm going to do the wattle. So the wattle is just kind of a line like that, a shape like that. If you want to actually have a little overlapping, you can do two of them because sometimes there are two. So it's showing it from behind. And then I'm going to do the top part. It's almost kind of like a crown. I'm going to start right here on top of the two triangles. And all I'm going to do is make a wavy line to the back of his head. Okay, super easy. Now, inside his body right here on the flap part, I'm going to do another semicircle that actually follows the curved part here. And then his two legs are going to be right here. So I'm not going to actually draw the legs right now because I want to do the fence before I do the actual legs. But or the feet, but I am going to do the legs. So the legs, I'm just going to do two kind of upside down U's like this. And then I'm going to leave some space. And I'm going to go ahead and do my first fence post is going to be a rectangle that goes to the bottom of the paper. And he's actually standing on that fence post. So I'm going to make a line and then 3 lines standing on the fence post. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my fence post all the way across, but I'm going to actually leave some space in between. So you can either start with a line and make lines down, or you can make a line up and bring it down. It's totally up to you, however you want to do that. If your fence posts look a little bit different from each other, that's actually totally okay too. I go all the way across. If you can only see a little part of one, you can always add that on the edge too. Okay, and then obviously like he's missing his tail back here, which I love the tail part. That's so cool. But what I'm going to do is up in this corner here, I'm actually going to add a circle. So I'm just going to draw the circle in there If it's not a perfect circle, it's totally fine. And then I'm going to work on his tail. So the tail, I want it to kind of come up towards the moon, but I don't want it to actually overlap the moon, okay? And then I'm going to bring the bottom of his tail about right here, kind of right where it would end. I don't want it to touch the fence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pencil right in the middle of his back, kind of the middle of that little semicircle, and I'm going to make a rainbow line that comes towards the edge of the paper, and it stops about right here. Okay, then I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to do that again, but this rainbow line is not going to touch that other line. I mean, it's following, but it's not going to touch, and then I'm going to bring it to that line with a straight line. Then I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to follow again. And this time I'm actually going to bring it down a little bit just to show you if you want it to be straight, you can make it straight. I kind of like it when it's a little bit different as I go. I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to follow again. This time I'm going to make it a little shorter. If you make it a little longer, totally fine. Leave a little space. This time I'm making it a little longer. Yours might be different. And then I'm going to come to the bottom this time, and I'm going to make this one a little longer. Okay, so it's almost kind of like I have a rainbow that's like hiding behind the semicircle. And now I'm done. So now I'm going to move to the next part.